Okay, so what we have looks to be one long, or actually, I'd say it's, I was gonna say one piece cut in half, but this looks to be two, like an inside skirt steak and an outside skirt steak. I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Talk about skirt steak. The grain, from what I can tell, I'll go in this way. Sorry, it's going this way. It's going this way. So I will cut into strips along the opposite direction from where the grain goes. I can see a little better that way. When I cut this way, it will allow the muscle fibers to break apart when I'm cooking it and be that much more tender and absolutely delicious. So that's why we're doing it this way and not the other way. You can do it the other way. It'll just be a little tougher when you're trying to chew it. When you're trying to chew it and enjoy it. I'm gonna leave all this fat on as well. I want to get as much flavor in there as possible. And one thing too, to make sure that you stay cold while you're trying to cut it. Once it warms up a little bit, it'll be harder to cut. It'll come more room temperature and not as forgiving, if you catch my drift. So we're going to cut this in half right here, and start with the smallest one. There we go. And don't go fancy with it. You could do it like across the bias at a 45-degree angle to get all fancy slices. I mean, you can definitely do that. It's going to taste the same when you're eating it. You're not going to notice that much of a difference after this has been made into beef jerky anyway. So I say, don't waste your time and leave the fancier things for something else. There you go. It's pretty thick pieces actually on those, but I figure they're won't be as wide when they're on the cooker too. So it actually will cook down nicely. It's a give and take relationship, and you have to let the meat tell you how it likes to be cut here. Okay. Here we go. Again, that's a big piece, but we'll be okay. If it's not gonna come out right, I will just eat it myself off camera. There are no losers here, only winners. I'd say this is almost as thick as the brisket flat slices. If you know how to do a brisket flat, I think they say a number 2 pencil. Maybe I'd say a little bit thinner than that. However, again, keep it together so it's gonna cut down nicely. And that's the first half done. Put that off to the side. And just with the other one, you know what? I might just leave this all together and not cut it in half. The other one. So I'll do that now and come back to you. Now that we have the meat all cut up, how do I put it on the barbecue in a way where it's easy to put on, apply, and take off? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here we go. You're going to line the strips along. You can see I'm doing it this way so it won't fall through the bars as it cooks or as it's taken off. I'm going to put these pretty close together. It will shrink a little bit while you're cooking them, but not a lot. You want that extra, that room is going to be created will appear once we're about halfway through the cook, and it'll be just fine. Good snuggled in together, like a little meat family. I almost feel like this is kind of like an easy game of Tetris, except that you really just have one piece. Oh, like maybe 2 types, short and long. That's 2 there. I could break it in half, but we'll just play it like that. Okay, so that's the first one done. I could probably do a little more here. I might come back later and do it after, actually, just to make sure we get everything on the racks. What this will allow me to do is put them directly on the grates and then to take them off the grates as well. So we're not having to sit there putting each piece or each strip of meat or jerky once it's cooked off of the grates themselves. They might stick to it, they might not want to come off right away. And doing it this way, you can bring it inside, let it cool, and then once it's all cooled down, they'll just come right off. So that's why I can do it like that. And I tell you, not much is better than homemade beef jerky. It just tastes like a campfire. It's amazing, amazing taste. Okay, there we go. 2 beautiful looking racks of beef jerky ready to go. I'm not sure if I said this already, but for this kind of cook, we want a very small fire. So I'm using my small propane torch. We want a very low and slow for this beef jerky. No more than 200 degrees for the entire time. Now that we have the fire actually established on the coals, I have the bitter part of a post oak log put right on top. That's going to produce a lot of smoke. Not the bad smoke, the good smoke that we want to put onto this meat. That's why we're going to do this now. I will now put the deflector plate on and the grate. I'm still using my temperature probes, so we're going to put one right there so we know we're not going to overdo it with this cook. In about 5 minutes we'll start smoking and we'll put the meat on. Right now I know what you're all thinking. Wait, you forgot to put any kind of seasoning on it. Nope. I wait to put the seasoning until I get them on the barbecue. Because all of this meat is hard to season and not make a big mess if you do it just on the table, a cutting board, or what have you. So that's why I do it right here on the barbecue. Any mess just goes right down there. It doesn't hurt nobody. So get these guys good and seasoned. Make sure the dogs like it because they're barking. There we go. And now, of course, my favorite. And there we go. Close her down and let it go. Minimum is 5 hours, 200 degrees. I'm not sure you can see that, but there's a thin blue smoke coming out of that flywheel. And yes, it's a little rusted, but still does the job. And what do you do while you're waiting for this to cook? With all the commotion out there today, in my backyard and in the world, I'm gonna go ahead and do exactly that. I'm gonna embrace the commotion. Commotion APA. Cheers, everybody. Delicious. We are about 2.5 hours in. Looking absolutely great. Amazing color and great rendering out of the fat. I like what I see. All that glistening meat just looks so good. All that rendered fat. Oh, that's what we're going for. Alright, we have them inside, and like I said, they were cooled now, so they can just come right up. No sticking to the grates, just come right up. Now I will take these all off of the rack, put them in the fridge overnight, and then we'll do a taste test in the morning. It is not the very next day after we made the beef jerky, but it's close enough. So we have here is just
It's cool.
a little cold. I keep it in the fridge. Well, it's probably safe to have out. It's not actually real beef jerky where we're actually dehydrating it fully. It's just done in the barbecue. This was even this cook. It wasn't actually that smoky, but it turned out very, very good. Amazing smoke flavor on there. It like really comes together after you're done. I feel like it happens a lot of times too with pulled pork. right when you pull off a smoker and eat it, it's not as smoky as it will be the next day. Sometimes pulled pork the next day is almost more smoky, kind of more barbecue flavor than if it just comes right off the barbecue. It's not scientific. I have no idea, but that's how I feel. So there you go. Any words of taste, tenderness, appearance, flavor, profile? Does it fall apart? Good jerky?
It tastes different. It's good. It tastes like different.
It's different?
Like better. Or something. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk too long. Any questions about this cook or any other cook we have here on Smoke Rib Barbecue, let us know. We'll be sure to answer them. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, keep barbecuing, America. Cheers.